Okay, so I did not insert the voice clip that I made from the first time I start to have that conversation with myself about Jada and her experience that she told me about with Yemaya, because I was speaking about things in a very hypothetical way. And it was like I had the intuitive knowing, I had the clarity, but I wasn't comfortable enough to trust my own knowing. So I was kind of like saying what I thought, but still beating around the bush. But it has been confirmed to me that, that was indeed a low vibrational experience and not from Yemaya herself. So Jada Epps has a post on her story, and I'm going to see if I can find it. She has a post on her story where she says, Yemaya scratched me. And she's told me about this when we were friends. And I thought to myself, before I got clarity on this person being demonic, et cetera, I thought to myself, I was like, why would she scratch you? And why would she do it as a mistake? Because the way that Jada has said it to me, she was like, she scratched her as a mistake, like it was an accident. And I'm like, this being is supposed to be a God. How can a God make a mistake that careless? If a God can make a mistake that careless, bigger mistakes can be made. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that spirits can't get close to you. Yemaya, I love her so much. I love you, Yemaya. Yemaya has gotten close to me to heal my womb space, and I felt her energy on me, healing my womb space to regulate my period. But to scratch and then to say that she's doing this shit on accident, again, assigning humanly low vibrational traits to divine beings, to gods. The Orishas are gods in their own right. Why would God make the mistake of scratching me? And then she was like, Jada told me that Yemaya accidentally scratched her. And then she told me that Yemaya said, oh, I'm so sorry, baby. You can give me more offerings. You don't have to give me, not you can give me more offerings. You don't have to give me offerings if you don't want to. I'm sorry for scratching you. So let's talk about that. Let's dissect that. That is such, say if Yemaya was her mother, right? And they're in the kitchen together. Say their kitchen is small and her mother has long nails and she gives her a slight small scratch in passing, right? Like the scratch she has on her Instagram story. Why would her mom be like, oh, I'm so sorry for scratching you, baby. You don't have to pay the rent this month if you don't want to. Like, we really have to use logic, people. We really do. And when things are spiritual, to the common man, they can seem abstract. They can seem delusional or psychotic, as she likes to throw that term around. But we still have to maintain a degree of logic because our logic is our divine masculine energy. And when we carry that with us with balance, we can protect ourselves in the spiritual realm, in the earthly realm, and in many other realms and aspects of life. Yemaya would not scratch you, nor would she be sycophantic after scratching you, because the scratch that she gave Jada, it was small. I'm not saying that, she shouldn't have scratched her in the first place. Yemaya wouldn't do that, for one. But even if she did, why would she be sycophantic and say, oh, I feel so bad. Don't worry about giving me offerings. Not loving herself and forgiving herself for making a mistake. Like, gods are not like that. Gods love themselves. Gods are powerful enough and not even powerful enough. They're just not going to make that kind of mistake. They're too powerful to make that kind of mistake. That's the mistake of a trickster. That's the mistake of a low dimensional being, a low vibrational being. So I just wanted to clarify that, especially for people who work with Orishas. Please don't be afraid to use logic. Now, I'm not saying use logic in an unbalanced sense, because some spiritual things cannot be made tangible, right? But you need to use logic to a healthy degree. Getting into spirituality is not a rite of abandoning your logic and practical thinking. Because to do that is to become unbalanced. And when you're unbalanced in that way, you're dimming your own light. You're lessening your divinity and or putting your divinity at risk of being siphoned by other people. Like with me, how I was low vibrationally feminine the whole entire time throughout my connection with Jada. I trusted too much. I depended too much. I was way too receptive to her. And because of that, she was able to easily feed false and negative ideas about myself, my ancestors and spirit guides, that are Madalas, Orishas, and other aspects of life into me. I also remember this person and we were having a conversation. And I was saying to her, like, why are they so disrespectful? Why do they talk like this? Why are they yelling? Why do they feel so comfortable talking so aggressively to me? And I was like, do they do this to you as well? And she was pretty much telling me that I was being too sensitive. And she also told me how she was serving Eleggua, and she had like put his offerings or something in the wrong direction, or she did something in some way that he didn't like. But it wasn't like, it was a matter of, I want it on the right side and you put it on the left side, something along those lines. And she said that he had like yelled at her and spoke to her in a nasty way because of it. But she didn't say that it was nasty. But the way in which she was describing it to me, it was aggressive. But she normalized it. She was like, this is just how they talk sometimes. Get over it. And I asked Eleggua today if he thinks that I'm just being too sensitive. And he said no. And he encouraged me to speak on this. So I'm speaking on it. Yes, Madala may, have to be a little more firm or assertive with you. But to get upset over something that minuscule and to yell or to be like, no, I don't want it like that. To even be like that without cursing or anything, that is totally unwarranted. And that is the behavior of a low vibrational being. And that's why I said in my other video that I made about her, the one, I think, before this one, the one that's about the lies that she said about Eleggua. These beings are not like us. These beings are not like us. Certain things they're not going to do. Certain things, they don't get annoyed over the same things we get annoyed over. And even if something bothers them, they're only going to tell you a few times, if that. Depending on the situation, they might tell you a few times. Generally, they're not going to keep repeating themselves about something. They have the power to usher in a karmic lesson. They have the power to show you in another way in which you can understand. I was being cussed out by the spirits that she had me thinking were divine, ascended, and high vibrational. I was being called all types of cunts, all types of bitches, so on and so forth. And she told me to get over it. She told me I was being too sensitive. She was having me normalize behavior from low vibrational beings, thinking that they were divine and thinking that that's where divine love ended for me. It didn't get any better than that. And if I wanted anything else, I was expecting too much and I was being too sensitive. So that's why I want to inform you all about what type of behaviors you should expect from Orishas and from Madalas. And I'll put the Madalas picture on the screen again so you all can know what I mean by Madalas. Everyone's experience is different, but the certain peeves, the way of speaking, you're just not going to experience certain things when you're working with Madalas. You're just not. It's a whole different ball game. They are not low vibrational beings, nor are they humans. They don't have the priorities that low vibrational beings, humans, would have. They don't get triggered by the same things. They don't feel the urge to use their divine masculine energy in an assertive or aggressive way over the same things. And it's like, we have bigger fish to fry. Why the fuck would they want to cuss me out over putting their offerings in the wrong direction? They could be using that energy to fight off spiritual warfare. They could be placing that energy in a whole other place. Simply telling me to put the offerings in another place would have been enough, right? That's the behavior of a demon. And she secretly works with demons. And I will put the pictures that I found on her Pinterest account. You know, her admitting that she was an energy vampire, implicating it, you know. I'll put that on the screen as well. But please, when you're listening to people, don't let them be your prerequisite. Let God be your prerequisite. And if the information that they're telling you lines up with what you feel in your gut and what God has told you, then you can accept it from there. Don't let anyone be your first choice when it comes to what you absorb about yourself, about God, and about the ancestors and spirits you work with. And I think that's all I have to say.